morning, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is Friday, and it happens to be Good Friday during Holy Week. It's one of my favorite weeks in the entire year. I love this time of year. Last night, I hosted a Passover Seder where we did the ceremony, and then we also partook of a beautiful Bethlehem meal. We also participated and followed Jesus' example by washing each other's feet. And it was just a wonderful experience. I felt the Spirit so strongly yesterday because all day it was dedicated to this activity in remembrance of Him. If you want more information on doing a Seder for yourself, let me know. I'd love to give you some more information on how that works and what it looks like. It is incredible to participate in. But today is Good Friday, and that's perfect for today because it's also the day we talk about the atonement. Now, the atonement started on Thursday night after He washed His disciples' feet. So think about these things that He was doing. They were ordinances that He was doing on His apostles. He washed their feet. This is something we still practice in the temple today. If you've been to the temple, you know what I'm talking about. If you've read about temples in the Old Testament, you know what I'm talking about. It's called washing and anointings. And the Lord did this for His disciples, and He told them, unless I do this, you cannot be with me. It is a beautiful ordinance that He performed, life-saving for His apostles that night. He gave them a washing and an anointing, and then He instituted the sacrament. It's incredible to think about. So today's Good Friday. The atonement actually began in the Garden of Gethsemane, where He sweat great drops of blood. But for most mainstream Christians, this is the day of the atonement for them, the day that Christ was on the cross and died. So I just wanted to share a couple of my own personal thoughts on that. I'm going to read a little bit here. In the early morning hours of Good Friday, Jesus was arrested. This is also when Judas betrayed Jesus by kissing His cheek. The sign He arranged with those who bribed Him to let them know which man was Jesus. Jesus stood trial where He was brutally whipped with a cat of nine tails, a special whip designed to literally tear skin from bone. He was mocked and had a crown of thorns placed upon His head. He was spat upon and then made to carry His own cross on the hill where He was nailed to it. Later in the day, Jesus died. He was removed from the cross, wrapped in cloth, and buried in a nearby tomb. Why is this important? Each drop of blood that Christ spilt paid for you and I. Those sins and temptations, those sicknesses, and even death, the thing that makes us fallen men, He paved a way for us to return to our heavenly home. For many years, I worked as a traveling phlebotomist for the American Red Cross. Now, this is me. I wrote all of this down because I wanted to look at it and share my thoughts about this today. So for many years, I worked as a traveling phlebotomist for the American Red Cross. In the process, we removed 1 pint of blood. This blood is life-saving. You can save up to 3 lives with 1 pint of blood. In the process, I have seen people have many different reactions. Not everybody reacts, but I've seen many different reactions. I've seen people break out in a cold sweat. I've seen others pass out. Some have defecated themselves while others had vomited. And I think of those reactions when I think of this part of Christ's mortal experience. He bled great drops of blood from every pore in the Garden of Gethsemane. A very painful process. He bled again as He was whipped, and large chunks of His flesh ripped from His bone. And although it's not documented in the Bible, it was common practice then to rub salt in those wounds after a whipping. And I wonder if He had to experience that as well. He bled yet again as a crown of thorns was placed on His head and He was mocked. He again shed blood as He was nailed to a cross. He lost well over a pint of blood, but he was still expected to carry his cross to the top of that hill. How many of those drops of blood were shed for me? And how many of those drops of blood were shed for you? So that has been my thoughts today as I have been observing Holy Week. I've been thinking about my past. I've been thinking about that blood and how life-saving it is. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me on this beautiful Good Friday. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed Easter. He lives, and we will see him again soon. I love you. Bye.